Welcome back to another day in the garden, and it is late and you're going to say, will you even get any? But today we are sowing parsnips. What a year it's been. It was freezing, it was raining, it was freezing again. We had some random hot days in between when I thought it's far too early, the ground hasn't warmed up enough to start doing things like this. Other years gone by, I've sown them far too early and then they've just failed germination because parsnips are buggers for that. And then we're suddenly on the 30th of May, which is what the date is when I'm recording this. I am doing another video today for the Smallholding with Stephen and other bits and pieces, but I wanted to do just a gardening one because I'm planning on spending most of the day today and hopefully tomorrow in the garden. It's going to be a hot one. I think it's going to be a hot one tomorrow too, so we will do a bit in the sun and a bit in the shade, but this is what we're starting with first. So whether or not it's too late or not, we'll still get something. It may be that it depends what kind of an autumn we're going to get. I mean, at the end of the day, this year is totally different to last year already from the season weather that we've already had. So we're just going to sow them and see what happens. The autumn might be a nice one, it might be a terrible one, who knows. We'll deal with it when we get there, but for now I'm going to decide which bed they're going in because I still haven't properly decided that. I think they're just literally going to go, anyway, I'll show you that in a minute. And then the variety of this one is Gladiator F1. So they are a hybrid F1 variety. They're sort of designed to be vigorous growth and good germination, all being well. So we've got nothing to lose at the end of the day. Right, let's get on with it and not find anything else to distract me, which I'm already thinking about. Close your eyes and just get there. Right, I think they're going to go in here, which at the moment has only got strawberries in it. So you might have seen the other day I came in and started weeding the biggest patch that was here. There's actually more already. I've just missed these, I think, because that's where we left a net that was covering up some of the brassicas last year. So I'll get that moved, get these few weeds out, and then I think we'll use this one for the parsnip. So it is going to need a bit of a rake over. There's some huge clumps. These stones are from what we're keeping the nets down. And what I'm going to do is actually create drills and put compost in the drills so that I can see exactly where they are, because I will need to keep these guys super moist over the coming days, especially with the heat we've got. Really, I don't want to be sowing in this heat, which is why I've put them off so much already. But you know, I can't keep waiting for that because it'll be bloody winter before we know it. This is unusually, can you hear that? It's unusually hard, so I'm going to have to dig this over. We've obviously tried no dig in the past, and it's working for some of the beds and not for others, and sometimes you just got to dig. And I know that upsets some people and again, not others, but I'm going to have to with this bed. We had brassicas in here over the winter. I'm going to go and put these back so I don't lose them while I'm doing this. And we could only put compost, which is the animal bed in that's composted down, on half of it because of the net that was on there. And it's the half that didn't get the compost that's the worst. So I need to get that done. Well, Grace is back now. She's got the lambs out. She's going to work on her cut flower garden. Some of this is from seed, some of it is from the local nursery that you guys have seen that we love to go and support. It's been a really hard year to get started this year with the cold that we had initially and then the heat that we've got now. So obviously Grace is using a polytunnel at the moment, and when you're at work all day it's very difficult to stay on top of the temperature in there. So what have you got in? What's these?
Dahlia.
Dahlia's here. And what's these ones?
Bit of everything.
Bit of everything.
Cosmos, snapdragons, but I need to get the weeds out the middle, and then cornflower, daisies.
How pretty.
And this is zinnia dahlia mix. Cornflower.
And sweet peas.
Yeah, they're my only thing that's going well at the moment.
They've been really happy, haven't they?
Yeah. Everything else has took bad for the heat.
Well, we had the cold, and then we had the storm,
The storm.
and then we had the hail and the frost, and now the sun. So I think anything is a bonus.
I'm going to put that in the main garden.
So the bed that I'm working on, this is now ready for the parsnip. So goodness me, let's get them in, get them watered, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to need to cover them up with something to keep the moisture in. It is ridiculously warm. Right, this is where we're up to. They're ready to go in. So again, these should germinate really well, and I think they're probably one of the better varieties to put in, if any, to get a crop this late in the year. So we've got about a foot apart, thereabouts. I've gone in with just the end of a broom handle, made a delve, and then put the broom handle actually in just to sort of flatten it out. I don't think I'm going to need the compost that I was on about. It's actually not too bad now that it's been turned over. Goodness me, it's so warm. Right, get these in. Right, I've now got 3 rows of carrots in as well. Decided against using the compost because it actually used quite a bit. Sorry, when I say decided, I was going to use compost on the bottom, then put seeds on, then put compost on the top. I just put compost on the top for the parsnips, and I was going to do the same for the carrots, but it used quite a lot of compost and it's super expensive, isn't it? So I think they should be fine just as this. There's 3 rows in here, so where you can see the indentations, that's where I was stood putting the seeds in. So 3 rows there, and there's a little bit more space around the edges. You can see where the strawberries are and things. I might put some of Grace's maybe the oxeye daisies or something like that in there, so we shall see. But first of all, I wanted to show you something over here. When I came in here this morning, I was actually filming for a different video, and the flipping rabbit was here. I was just walked in and I was chatting away, and the rabbit was there just in front of the beetroot bed, and when I've looked, it's been and eaten some of the radish. But I think I saved the beetroot bed by coming in just at the time when I did, so Steve's going to block that up again because we keep blocking it up. The different areas that we think are okay and then aren't. These are the onions that were from sets, coming along absolutely fantastically, but not what I'm wanting to show you. Can you see? They are the Greek gigantes that I sowed direct, that I wasn't sure how it was going to come along, if it was going to work or not. Absolutely fantastic. I think I've got like 100%, well, very close to germination on them, so I'm thrilled with that because I've never actually sown those direct before. So I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. I've given them a good water, as well as, well, they've had a better water. The onions have just had a water here, which are the red onions, and I've just given a bit of a token gesture to the other onions, to be honest. So they're white at the back, or brown. These are red onions that are coming through really nicely as well. And the Greek gigantes that I actually sowed in the modules that were quite sporadic on the germination. These are the ones that were successful, obviously, and they're in here, but there wasn't enough to do the other side, which is why I put them in direct. They're romping away now, absolutely. You can see climbing up here. They're doing really well, and there was a few that didn't look too good in the seed trays, that 1 or 2 that I'm going to be able to sow alongside them. So really happy with those. These guys, super happy with them as well. And I'm wondering, this is the, ignore the weeds, haven't got to those yet, but this is the garlic, or one's thrown off a scape there actually, that I sowed last year that nothing ever came of it, or even the year before, was it? Anyway, whatever it was, you know what I mean. And we just left it in, and it's just starting to come now. So I'm wondering, the leaves are starting to yellow. Should we try and pull one together maybe? That's quite a thick one there. That's got a scape on, that's got a scape on. Do we maybe try? That's turning into a scape actually, so is that. Maybe I just do this one. This was unplanned. I'll sit down next to it. All the weeds, these all need to come out separately, but you see how dry it is, so let's clear everything around it first. Right, this could be really absolutely nothing. What's the saying? All fur coat and no knickers. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, blooming heck. Don't be tempted to just pull them out, whatever you do. Wowzers! That's actually... Is that typical or what? That is better. Oh, sorry, I might have just had my finger over some of the camera lens there. I can't actually see it. That's bloody better than a normal one. Oh, what do? Do I take them all out now? What do you think? I'm chuffed to bits with that. Oh, this smells fantastic. Still quite wet though. Probably shouldn't do this. I don't think you are supposed to. I think you're supposed to just let them dry out, but can't not. It's too tempting. Wow, that's brilliant. So now I'm thinking, do I use these for my keep your own cloves to plant for next year? Because I'm motivated by the fact that those Greek gigantes are ours, that I saved from last year. So grown from seed, and then I saved the seed. And they've worked. I'm thrilled that they've worked, but maybe I should keep this too, or the best one of them. I don't even know how to keep them. I'm assuming you just dry it out and then just replant the cloves. It's been that long since I've even had decent garlic to consider it. Next day in the garden, and I was just looking out there and I thought, oh my goodness, that chicken's dead. And then it started moving. It is absolutely loving creating its own dust bath because of how dry it is out there now. And there's another one there just pecking around to see what bugs she can get. She can hear me talking, the black one on the left. She's thinking, what's going on? And then in the distance under the shade is a different breed. There's cockerels in both, that's why they're separated. Anyway, that's not what I brought you here for. Do you remember the plant that nearly died, that snapped, and I said we'll try and help it? That's it. It's literally the most vigorous, healthiest tomato plant out of all of them. These are the super mamas. That's a watermelon in the background in the left there that Stephen was gifted from a friend at work. But these super mamas here have done a lot better than that one there. However, they are all starting to pack on some growth now. So a few different varieties we've got going on. Some from seed, the super mamas are always from seed, and some from the nursery just down the road from us. And some are looking better than others just because of the dryness that they had in the pot, given how hot it was after the really cold start to May. So early morning, I'm just in here getting these watered before the heat of the day kicks in, because it's going to be another hot one. They say it's not going to be quite as hot, but I think it's still 20 something, which for me is super duper hot. So loving the little tomatoes for the moment. They're doing really well. I'm going to trail the watermelon along the back. I think that's going to be my plan. What I might actually do, nothing in that corner, and it's begging for something, isn't it? So, in fact, before it gets too hot, let's put a cucumber in there. Right, while I'm in here just watering the rest, I'm going to quickly show you what we've got. These are the baked potato squash. They're supposed to be, but I'm really wondering if we've got some dodgy seed again. And this is why I've resown them here. So there's baked potato in these ones too. Thankfully, they have all germinated. They all look the same when they first come up, so it's hard to tell at this stage if we're going to have the same issue. So anyway, they will all go in and they'll thrive. They'll take off quickly. As long as we keep them in this heat, they'll soon catch up. And we've got some beans that may have suffered, although when these germinated, it wasn't kind of that hot. Anyway, I'll get some more sown. And now that I've had the Greek gigantes sown outside directly and they have worked, I'm probably just going to sow direct from now on, as in from now on this year, because leaving these in the, obviously doing them in here in the modules needs extra compost, etc. So it's just all added expense. And that's one thing that we need to be thinking about at the moment, is added expense, as we've got some serious bills coming in. But anyway, so let's keep the food coming in if nothing else. Time for these onions to go outside as well. These were sown from seed beginning of March, I think. Yeah, 1st of March, just looking at the tag there. So they're ready to go out. And these are also the spare reds that I had in, which you can obviously see are doing just as well, if not better, than the ones that were outside. So any gaps that I've got outside, I will plug with these. And then I'm also just going to shove these around the plot as well. These here were just some bunching onions that I put in, but trying to sow them in here with the heat that it's been. The ones that have come through have done really well on their own, to be quite honest. So these onions can go out, and we'll plug these as well. And I'm going to I think I'll get these baked potato squash out, or whatever they end up being. They just look like they're trying to vine, and I don't know, maybe I'm remembering wrong. Oh, and then behind here, isn't this interesting? Well, I find it interesting. So leeks, both of them in at the same time. On the left, the ones I'm watering now, they were just my spares, so I just shoved them in. But obviously, because they're less crowded, look how thick they're doing compared to these guys that were just grown. So that tells me next time what to do. I think I've said that before, but anyway, we'll I keep reminding myself because I keep forgetting. Something going on in the trees. I'm not sure what that is. I think that annoying is magpies, and that's, oh, there it is, it's a little sparrow. And the other one was magpies are obviously having a disagreement about something. Anyway, seeds that we got in yesterday, going to get these sown now. Not sown, Tracy. Watered now. So the rain is due to start tonight, Sunday night. And then hopefully this week, if it does rain, at least it means I won't have to water these. But until then, going to need to keep watering them. So that's the first task of the day. I've also need to turn my attention over to the bean beds that we've just been talking about, because I've got some that have been out there waiting to go in the ground, and I hope they haven't dried out. So we'll take a look in a sec. Right, that's watered. That bed there is where I tried to continue yesterday in the heat, and you can see, I mean, that is literally just the weeds and the last of the leeks that are now obviously trying to go to seed. That's how far I got because it was just ridiculously hot. I didn't even empty my bucket because I was just so hot and felt quite sick. So I said, right, call it a day. So that's where we're starting from this morning. I'm going to get some of that done after I've got these beans and watering done. Can't remember if I showed you yesterday, but I've got some more brassicas in this bed. Some of these again sown from, I think they were from seed, these were from, I can't remember which way around, but anyway, basically there's broccoli and the cauliflower. There's cauliflower tag there, so I'm guessing the cauliflower are the ones that we bought plugs for. Actually, not looking too bad. So I put these in borlottis on the 24th of April. So I'm going to give the, actually I'm not going to water them yet. What I'm going to do is get them in the ground first and then I'll give them a good water in. But what I will do first is water these peas around the obstacles. So these have had a bit of a hard time, but they're coming through enough. The other side less so. They are in the other side there, just around where my shadow is. This bed, we got some topsoil last year off a friend of ours who's got a business, and he did say it's okay-ish. It's got lots of bits in it, so it's probably not the best, to be quite honest, but it's what we needed at the time and it was our only option at the time. So we'll give this some good conditioning this year with lots of extra muck, but for now at least we've got some food growing. So I'm going to get these watered and then we'll work on that second bed. Right, borlottis are in. Goodness me, that took a lot more effort than I thought. The ground was rock hard, so I've just turned it over where the beans are going in and popped them in, give them a good water. I had some visitors in between, so I'm back out now. I think what I'll do is direct sow in here for the stuff that hasn't gone in yet, and I've just watered these peas again because even after a good water they're already starting to look dry. Do you remember I showed you the thistle bed? Not the strawberry bed, the thistle bed the other day, and these were tiny little thistles. Well, look, literally I think it's about 3 days later. Big size. Anyway, over here I've also watered, excuse the dogs in the background, somebody's just turned up. I've also watered these, which we've got little courgettes appearing, and this one on the end is a marrow, which I'm looking forward to. That's actually a male flower that's snapped off, so I'm not worried about that. But there we go. Isn't that sweet? So I'm going to get the other ones in, I think, now, because these have survived what we've had, and I'm not going to get them in this week, I don't think. I've actually got some Blue Hubbard and Waltham from seed here, which I'm going to get in this bed as well. There's delicata squash in this, which I think I'm going to try and grow those vertically. I'm happy for these to go in here, and I'm hoping they're going to help suppress the weeds. So if you didn't see, this bed was an absolute nightmare not so long ago, and the weeds are already starting to come back. It's going to end up exactly the same as the thistle bed if we're not careful. So I'm just going to literally take this out while I'm talking to you guys. Oh, not from the roots though, it's not very good, Tracy. Oh dear. So yeah, you can see the what they're called, Jerusalem artichokes are already coming back, weeds are already coming in. I'm hoping if I can get some sprawling squash and then just maintain it in between, that they will then help suppress the weeds in here, because honestly it's a nightmare. And you can see this bed was also just done just a few days ago and things are coming back. Weeds are coming back thick and fast. So we're in that time where the plants are growing absolutely fantastically, but the weeds continue to grow fantastically as well. I'm going to go grab the courgettes. I think I've got some more in the greenhouse. Super confused, haven't got any courgettes. I had some, I'm absolutely sure. Right, thankfully it's not too late to sow courgettes, so I'm going to do that next as well. I'm going to water these first. These are the ones that we looked at earlier in the greenhouse, which are the cucumbers and the what was it called, the strawberry crown and the table king. So I'm going to put those there as well and pick between them, but then I'll need to make sure I put those cucumbers back inside the greenhouse, because they are for growing in under glass basically. But I didn't want to take this back into the greenhouse because it can be quite lethal. Right, the beans that are going in next to these purple ones are called, how do you say it, Blauhild? Maybe something like that. Anyway, far too many seeds here for any one person in 1 year, so I'm just going to sow them 2 per hole, and I'm just going to put them about, I don't know, 10-15 centimetres apart on either side of this bed. So we've got the borlottis so far here, and then the end will be this. I think they have a purple pod, if I remember rightly. It goes green when cooked, so we'll get those in there, and then I'm going to move on to that bed. Well, I've been working in here for a little while because it is, the temperature might have dropped, but it is still so warm and humid. Whew, so little bit of a sweat on. This is all celery here. This is as much celery as we will ever need. We don't eat it fresh. It's just for cooking with. So I've popped them in there rather than straight in the ground because they were looking a little bit unhappy and should have been potted on earlier. So we'll give them a couple of weeks in there. And the other thing that I've been getting on outside, the other thing I've been getting on with outside is over here. Let me show you. Actually, two things. In this bed here, I've started putting the squash in. So they are Blue Hubbard, 4 Blue Hubbard on the back and 5 Waltham butternut squash. There are the other ones, the delicatas, in there. I haven't decided if they're going in the ground or they're going to be climbing yet. But they are in. I haven't watered them in just yet, but the ground was lovely and moist. And I've taken a punt on my outdoor girl tomatoes. These are absolutely tiny compared to what I would normally plant them out. That's just an egg from the compost. But I thought, you know what, give it a go, see how they are. I've planted them really deep, so they were a little bit taller than what they are sticking up out of the ground. But let's just see what happens. I've got a few that weren't needed, so they're spaced quite close together, maybe a foot apart, 30 centimetres. So we'll see how they get on. If they don't make it, then I've got a few spares that I'll just keep growing on in the pots. And if they do make it, I'll either give them away or find somewhere else for them. So fingers crossed. So I haven't got the beans in, or the beans directly sown in. I've obviously got the plants in that you saw me getting on with. But I'm really pleased that at least they're in the ground and can start getting the feet down during this week whilst we've got this. Whatever this weather turns out to be, it's one of those where it's 50-50. So it might rain all week or it might not rain at all. We shall wait and see. And if it doesn't, I've got plenty of other things to be getting on with. It's coming up to 3 o'clock now on Sunday, and I've got some other things I really need to get done to get ahead for the week ahead, working week ahead, unfortunately. So it really does get in the way sometimes, doesn't it? So I'm going to knock off for now. I'm hoping to come back out here later on, but I've said that before and then the day just gets away with me. But at least I'm pleased with everything that we've got done. Everything in the greenhouse is, one thing needs watering actually, the courgettes and things that I sowed, haven't watered them, so I'll go and get that done. Give these a water in, and then I think that's about all I can do for now. If I get done in the house, I'll come back out. Failing that, I'm going to say bye and I will catch you next time. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed pottering around. I feel like we've got quite a bit done today. So I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching.